Thank you, Brother Richard, for sitting down with us once again with Behind the Final Call cover story. I know it's a little late this time, but of course we have been busy. Of course, still doing the work of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad under the guidance of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Thank you for what you do. And of course, today the cover story is putting Christ back into Xmas. The need to show love, unity, and embrace harmony to make this a truly special time of the year. And this is volume number 38, number 12. December 25th is the date on the paper. And once again, as we always ask, why this cover story?
Well, assalamu alaikum, Brother Troy. Thank you again for having me. I think that in particular, at this time of year, which in some ways is the most dangerous time of year, right? It is dangerous because the people have been mistaught about Jesus, mistaught about his birth, mistaught about December 25th. So their activity is in line with the lies that they have been taught. So it becomes a day that's about drinking foolishness. I think, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad called it, fantastic foolishness, avarice, lust, none of the things that should be associated with Jesus, the prophet, or Jesus, the Messiah. So we are blessed that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, in an address a few weeks ago, talked about the need for us to engage in acts of kindness this year. We know that for the last 3 years, our theme has been, and it continues to be, up with Jesus, down with Santa. Up with Jesus, down with Santa. Keep your money in your pocket or spend it with black businesses. Did you know that a good percentage of people that paid for gifts last year are shopping this year and they're still paying for those same gifts? Still paying. So I believe I read something that said it's estimated that spending will be like over $700 billion this year. For what? We are taught that the love of money is the root of all evil. We see these ugly and tragic incidents, for example, in my hometown of Baltimore in early December. A man goes out with his son, his daughter, and the mother of the children. They go to shop. Somebody runs up on the car and says, "Get out of the car," and they're armed. The brother kind of panicked and tried to get away. He shot multiple times, and his 13-year-old daughter was shot. What does any of this have to do with Jesus? Absolutely nothing. And so we are blessed that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said to us, this year, let's put Christ back into Christmas. Or as we said on the cover of the paper, putting Christ back into Xmas. We know that X stands for the unknown. So many of our people today still don't know fully, or they don't fully appreciate what we have been taught to celebrate as Christmas is in no way related to the birth of Jesus. Absolutely none. You can't prove it anywhere. As a matter of fact, scholars agree. This whole thing is a pagan celebration tied to the winter solstice. Jeremiah condemns cutting down the book of Jeremiah in your Bible. Not no special Bible. Just get one. Jeremiah 10 condemns cutting down a tree, nailing it to the ground, and decking it with silver and gold. All of these things, the Yule log, the bulbs on the tree, the candles in the windows, all of this is tied to pagan beliefs. And as the days got shorter, they believed that their sun god, S-U-N, was losing power. We know that December 21st or thereabout is what we call the winter solstice, or the shortest day of the year. After that, the days seem to get a little longer, a little longer, a little longer. That's one aspect. The other aspect is this date is the birth of Nimrod, a wicked man who married his mother. I mean, if that ain't enough to make you give up the practice of the holiday, I don't know what is. And he said that when his mother died, an evergreen tree rose on her grave, and they would put presents around the grave. Did you know that early in this country, Christmas was outlawed by the Puritans? It was illegal because they said it was an affront to associate with a holiday rooted in paganism. So we're calling on our people to give up those paganistic customs and beliefs, to step into the truth and to step into the light, and to acquire some power by doing good. Acts of kindness, reaching out to family members, doing things in your neighborhood, building relationships, because unfortunately, some people are going to lose their lives this holiday season. They don't have to. Not if we can change the mindset, not if we can change the activity, not if we can change what should be considered normal and natural and focus on the spiritual gifts and focus on what Jesus is supposed to represent in terms of this reconciliation between man and God. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan encouraged us, actually said to us, that this year we should be devoted to these acts of kindness. And he said, this Christmas, let's make it a real mass for Christ. A mass is a gathering of people, a religious kind of solemn gathering, right? Christ is not interested, Minister Farrakhan speaking. Christ is not interested in you going to the store and making the already rich rich. Putting yourself in debt for another year to give out gifts. Come on. Jesus didn't ask you to do this. So then he talked about an approach, and he talked about the Holy Quran, a Muslim book of scripture, chapter 107, titled Acts of Kindness. So the minister said, it doesn't cost money to be kind. A smile and kind word to a neighbor would be the best gift. Then he says, but this Christmas, let love break out in the ghetto. They won't even know what happened the next day when we see a measure of peace. Peace on earth, peace in the hood, and goodwill toward one another. That's why this cover, and we're hoping we can inspire people to consider that. And they must read the minister's article this week. We must reflect Jesus the revolutionary. That cover story and his article go hand in hand.
Thank you. So you covered a lot, and of course, Allah willing, we'll have you have a picture on the cover, which we'll show probably an extended clip of this episode of Behind the Final Call Cover Story. We'll show a little more footage, so be on the lookout for that on the photographer who actually took the picture and where they took it, and also maybe the person who is one of the organizers for that event will actually take them and get opportunity to hear from them as well. This is a special thing. Of course, we do the Behind the Final Call Cover Story as much as we can with Brother Richard Muhammad, and he kind of tells us the story behind the cover and why we chose this cover. But we're blessed to be with you today because, of course, you're the photographer for the Final Call, or one of the photographers for the Final Call, and you actually took these pictures. You took most of the pictures that are on the cover.
Yes, the Chicago chapters of this week's cover.
So why? Can you tell us anything about this particular image?
Okay. This particular image, this was shot on around 63rd and Vernon. The Nation of Islam, we go out and feed the homeless, working with Sister Carmela Muhammad, working with Brother Shaheed, a Muslim. And so usually when they are working, out in the streets, to feed the homeless and give charity, then, we go out, us of the Elite 50, members of the Elite 50, we go out and we help out, in this cause. This particular cover, we was on 63rd and Vernon, and we were feeding the homeless. And so it was a very, very at least for us, it was very invigorating because we like to go out and work with the homeless.
Okay, thank you. Well, of course, I'm biased, and of course, when you see a picture with yourself in it,
oh yeah,
you always kind of notice that. So,
yeah.
So, do you remember this particular day?
Yes, I do. In fact, I do remember when I took that picture of you. I was hoping when I shot this picture, the lady, she was very thankful. Because when you gave her she got the bag, and you were speaking to her, and she was just thanking, the nation for being out there, and she shook your hand, and as I was taking the picture, I said, Brother Troy, don't move. I hope she don't move. So I was able to get that shot. I'm thankful to Allah that I did.
Yes, sir. So we have a few others that all of these are shots that you take. Can you kind of take us through? I guess starting with this one right here.
Okay. That was with our brother Michael 44X. He's one of the Elite 50. He was giving out, the paper, and then we was giving out food. And the sister here, she got a hug because they had a nice conversation. And usually when they see the Nation of Islam, coming, especially when we are feeding the homeless, they've even expressed to us many times that they said they appreciate other organizations that do come out, to do the feeding. But it's something about when they see us, it's like it gives them like hope. And so some of the people, that we have went out to feed the homeless, like this picture here with Sister Zenobia, she's doing the blood, checking the blood pressure, because you well know she's working with the medical staff, and she checks most of all of our blood pressure, and so it's just it's just a beautiful situation to see the people's expression, when they see us out there with them. This shot here with Brother Michael 44, when we was at the Pacific Mission Garden, it was someone that had their car wasn't working, so he had a portable charger, and so he went and he charged up the person's car. Some of these other pictures here, I remember some of these, I saw these, this was down in Atlanta, with the 10,000 Fearless, because we were down in Atlanta when we had Savior's Day, and got a chance, and praise be to Allah, I got a chance to go by the headquarters where this, this house where they have the Elite 50, the 10,000 Fearless headquarters. And I mean, they're doing a fantastic job down there. So it's beautiful, to see the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the teachings of the Honorable Minister Farrakhan and Islam, going out there and keeping in contact with the people. Yes, so so one thing that I do enjoy about being a photojournalist, especially for the Final Call, is the fact that we try to cover as many aspects as we can on what happens in the pulse of the black community. So that's what I enjoy shooting.
Okay, my name is Haroon Rajai. I am a photojournalist for the Final Call newspaper, and I got started in photography through the grandson of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and from that time on, I've done a lot of photographic work, portraits, journalistic stuff on entertainers, religious, political figures, and so now I'm working with Final Call.
Please explore the collective9.org website and subscribe to the newsletter. Explore the site and make sure you check out Web TV.